And we are back on the WHHI-TV Daily News. With me now is Jeff LaRue. He is with the Beaufort Jasper Water Sewer Authority. I don't know why that's kind of a tongue twister for me, but it kind of
took me a
is.
little practice too.
Anyway, welcome back. It's good to see you.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, tell us a little bit. I know you've been here one other time before, and we're going to see you lots in the future, but just give us a little bit of an overview real quickly once again about the Sewer Authority.
Yeah. Beaufort Jasper Water and Sewer Authority is the main provider for water and sewer services in Beaufort and Jasper County. We serve about 67,000 customers and a service area of about 750 square miles.
And those customers, those 67,000, are just going to keep growing.
Apparently, there's no end in sight.
Yes, and so obviously we just walked into the studio from a really warm day outside. We are seeing temperatures ramp up, of course, like it always does in the summer. But of course, that also means water usage ramps up.
Yeah, Betsy, we've had some really tense mornings at the authority lately. Irrigation demand is really straining our treatment and our distribution system. Our customers are using about 10 million gallons a day more than they were this week just last year.
Wow.
And we hit a new peak demand, which means we used more water in the system last Friday. We used over 35 million gallons that day. And over the last 8 days, we've had 6 days where we were over 30 million gallons a day. We're pumping it out as fast as we can.
Yeah.
Overnight, we fill up our storage tanks. Around 6 o'clock in the morning, we fire up all the pumps. Everything that from the plants is going full blast. And even though those tanks are full, from 6 to 9 a.m., we're just watching those water levels drop in the tanks. And we cannot keep up because everybody's spraying it on their lawns.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just going to get to. So, even like you said, over last year, we're far and above what we were this week. So is that attributed to more residents, but then also people not paying attention to when they're irrigating?
It is more residents, partly, but it's, and we're trying to address that. We're doubling the size of our Perrysburg water plant. We're building a 1.5 million gallon water tower on Bluffton Parkway. So we're doing some things, but we can't build as fast as the developers are building.
Right.
And we know irrigation is responsible for about 50% of the water that gets used. And that should be important to everybody, not just because it hits them in the pocketbook, but if we start to lose pressure in the system, the first symptom we'll see is widespread discoloration as water shifts in our water distribution network. People might start to notice pressure drops. If things get extreme, we would have to issue boil water advisories and maybe even have service interruptions that could threaten homes, businesses, and even fire protection if it gets really bad.
Those are all really things that I don't think any of us want to have to deal with. So we
especially.
need to right, especially when it's this hot outside. So what do we do? I mean, we know we've addressed the schedule before, but people don't seem to be necessarily sticking to it. Some maybe realize they're not, some maybe don't care. How do we really address this?
Yeah, what we're really trying to do is spread out the demand of water usage between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. And what's happening is everybody does their morning routine. It's normal for us to use water, and we want that to be able to continue. The trouble is everybody's turning their sprinklers on full blast at the same time, and that's doubling our consumption during that period. So if we can manage the consumption, really the key is skip Mondays for watering your system altogether, and don't water between about 3 a.m. and 9 a.m.
Okay.
That is the most important part. But then we're asking people to take the next step and stagger their usage. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, if you're an odd numbered house address, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, if you're an even numbered address. If we can just do that, right. Without changing anybody's lifestyle, we can keep grass green, and we can have plenty of water for those things that we really need.
Right. And I know you mentioned this time last time, but in our last 30 seconds, you said not between 6 and 9. So when is the optimum time to say, if somebody's setting, because you can set your system to go on automatically on those days. So what is the time?
We've worked with Clemson University to come up with what is the optimal time. And if people can water either between midnight and 3 a.m. or 9 and noon.
Okay.
You don't want to do it in the heat of the day because so
Right.
much water evaporates. But if they can do it between midnight and 3 a.m., that 3 a.m. is when we start really filling up the towers full speed and getting ready for the if you'll excuse the phrase, the tidal wave of usage.
Right, right. Well, Jeff, thank you for being here, and make sure you're paying attention to that irrigation schedule, and we'll be back in just a moment.